Hello and welcome back to World of Tanks Bootcamp with Zethika. Now in this episode we are again going to be talking about taking calculated risks. We're going to be talking about what you can allow yourself to do in a very lightly armored tank such as this Borsig, the tier 8 German tank destroyer with the turret of the new variety, and I've lately been trying it out with this giant gun rather than the Jack Tiger gun, and I gotta say that I like it, but I'm not overjoyed with it. It is hilarious though, no doubt about that. Tier 8 gun with this amount of damage, it is completely ridiculous. So, as you can probably see right now, I'm a bit iffy about this whole situation. Oh, that was a sad miss there. Since we are all alone right here. We got that tiger over there, but he's not going to be much help to us. So at this point, I'm thinking about moving backwards. Going over in this here area and trying to defend the flank from here rather than here. Because this is not a tank that is supposed to be on the front lines that much. Or rather, it's not supposed to take damage so much. It needs friends. However, this Type 59 saw the lights and decided he wanted to get over here as well. So I'm more than willing to help him, and I'm also not willing to sacrifice him. So, oh, we get a good little shot in on that Tiger one, and half his health is already gone. Couldn't ask for more, really. Now, I see this Tiger is being swarmed completely by now. But I'm not really that happy about the prospect of losing him without at least getting a bit of damage in on him. So, figuring that all of them have gone from over there, I move forward and try to support the Tiger as best I can, or at least get a little bit of damage in on him. Now, I get a one shot in on that T-29, and that's brilliant. However, this VK3001P decided he wanted to get a few shots in on me in a second. Oh, there we go, and I saw that. Now this is a risk that I was willing to take, because that's actually really unlucky for him not to die right there. I have a 750 average damage, and he has only 710 health. He should have died. However, that's quite alright. Or at least we can deal with it. Now, I was willing to go over in this here area because a single shot from me is worth a lot of health on the enemy. And that Tiger was distracting all of those 4 tanks in there. A chance when you start losing is when you start losing tanks without getting anything in return. So if that the Tiger had died over there entirely alone without our support at all, we would have stood a much worse chance of winning. Now we did lose that E25, sorry about that, and I lost a lot of health to an unlucky shot there, so in the end it didn't really work out so well. However, you should always be focusing on how you can minimize your team's losses compared to the enemy team's losses. I was not willing to sacrifice all of that health in that Tiger by simply sitting here and waiting for him to die or for them to move out so that I could shoot at them. Let's move on. Now we're in a bit of a pickle here. This Type 59 needs our help, so we decide to give it to him in the shape of 800 damage right into that IS-3 side, and the Type 59 finishes him off. Brilliant. Now, as you probably noticed, we are currently being capped. And since I am at the moment being shot at by the artillery, which you should expect in this tank really, I'm not so happy about this whole situation here. So I take a shot at that VK3001P. However, I bounce And in disgust, I decide that I'm going to be leaving, especially since we now have 2 heavy tanks sitting over here, and we're currently losing our base. Or at least, if the enemy team had any sense, they would have capped, or at least... I'm not saying they should be capping, I'm saying they should be pressuring us by capping. They should have a tank or 2 in the cap circle, forcing us to try and get forward as quickly as possible. But they decided not to. Now, I see this Type 59 moving up over the desert here, and I have noticed that he's not being shot at, and he's not noticed anyone so far. Meaning that the enemy team is most likely down in this area. And there we see the larvae, and there we see the tiger. The larvae is behind some rocks, but I think I can get myself a shot in on this tiger. A very valuable shot, since the tiger is a very valuable tank. And indeed we can, and he's almost already dead. The thing you shouldn't discount in this tank is the fear factor from the giant gun that it carries. If it's using this gun rather than the Yak Tiger gun, it really excels in peek-a-boom tactics. You can just get out and behind a corner, take a single shot into them, and they've lost half their health on average. I mean, at a Tier 8 tank. A Tier 8 tank getting shot at by this gun will have lost on average over half its health. So, the fear factor is enormous, and rightly so. Now, I need to kill this larvae, but I do not have a lot of health, and I do not want to get spotted because we've got these 2 artillery who are quite possibly going to be killing us. But, because I can now one-shot him, I'm willing to move forward. And this is something you need to consider as well. Again, it's all about taking calculated risks, right? I see that he's currently aiming down towards this artillery here. Most likely, if I move around here, he won't have time to react before I kill him. But this is a risk, right? He could very well have the reflexes to simply shoot at the tank who's popping out right in front of him. However, I'm counting on him simply being unawares, and since he's moving, I'm more than willing to sit here and take this shot. Also because I was unable to die from a single shot right there. Again, it all factors into this risk analysis you need to have in your mind. You need to think about, can I get killed before I kill him? Will I do more damage to him than he does to me? In this case, even if he had hit me, it wouldn't really have been that much of an issue. I would simply have been able to drive over here, spot the tiger, and allow my artillery to take him out, or wait for friends to come and back me up, right? However, since that's not necessary, I can now quite simply move forward, and since I cannot get killed by a single shot from this tiger, under any circumstances, I can simply move forward, take the shot, kill him, and that's that. And the artillery is going to die momentarily. There we go. Let's move on to the post-game stats. And here we are. Now, as you can see, this was a first-class master badge. I got myself a tank sniper medal and a high caliber medal. I also got myself 61,285 credits gross, 3,518 experience earned at a 2x victory. It's actually quite funny with that tank sniper medal, since I only think I had 1 shot. No, I had 2 shots. I also had the one on the tiger, so I had 2 shots into the enemy at long ranges. Now, as you can see here, I got myself the second most experience in the team. I did by far the most damage, which is, again, quite usual for this kind of tank, which got a giant damaging gun, but doesn't usually spot for itself, which is why this Type 59 got himself more base experience than I did, also because he's a premium tank. And I think it's quite fine that he got this much experience, because he, in essence, probably saved the game. Now, as you can probably remember, he came over and made me support him, right? I had been wondering about going away from there, trying to defend the flank from a less favorable position. However, this Type 59 rushed over there and became the meat shield I needed to do the damage, while he got all the spotting damage. This is brilliant. This is what should always happen. The Borsig is not a tank to go around alone, and the Type 59 is more than happy to have a giant gun as a support tank, right? Now, we can see I only had 8 penetrations and I did 4,857 damage. That should tell you something about the caliber of gun we're talking about here. I also got 36,677 credits in net income. And there we can finally see I only got 139 damage from my assistance. So, not a lot. I did not do the spotting. However, as this was about, we are talking about taking calculated risks. And this is crucial in a tank such as, well, in any tank, but especially in a tank that does not have any armor. The only real thing I can throw around is my health. So what I need to consider is, am I doing more damage to the enemy team than they are doing to me? And in most cases, if you're doing peekaboo tactics, especially when the enemy are focused on someone else, you are going to do a lot of damage in a tank like this. No doubt about it. However, I was unlucky and got caught out, and you saw how quickly even a low tier tank would wreck me. If I hadn't had a repair kit there, and since he destroyed my engine, I would have died. I would have been stuck. There would have been no chance of me getting away unless I killed him, which I might have. Probably would have. However, these are the kind of thoughts you really need to consider. Peekaboo tactics are very, very strong, especially, well, I would say, only in tanks that have good guns, such as this one, where you can pop out and take a giant dump on the enemy, make them shit their pants in fear and run away most likely, while you simply move back behind cover, and take your time in taking them out. That is the essence of peekaboo tactics, and that is why a tank such as the Borsig is extremely strong, especially over its contemporaries, since it's got a turret and as such usually have a lot easier time moving around corners and being effective at the same time. Now, with that, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I'll see you back tomorrow for more World of Tanks. Have a nice evening!